we're going to give our weekly fantasy baseball update with the Baseball Together Fantasy Baseball League. Now, we're going to start from the bottom of the standings again and go up because Brig and I faced off last week, and you're gonna want to hear about this. Oh boy, are you gonna want to hear about this one? Anyway, okay, so we had Denise as Grace Under Fire. It was against John, the Harrisburg Charlies. John won that one 435 to 376. Denise has been struggling with Ohtani on her roster, and she's voiced that to me several times because the way that I think we talked about this last week, the way the league is set up, I tried to make it easy for everyone, but apparently there's an issue with if once you set your roster for the week, it's done. You can't pull anybody out who's having problems. So I believe she benched Ohtani, and it kind of works now because he has a groin injury. But so her
doesn't work for me.
No, it doesn't work for you.
I looked at this afternoon and was like, can I make some changes? No, it was the top of the first somewhere.
Game started.
So she's not alone.
Game started really early today here on the West Coast. It was like 10:30, something like that. Early games today. But her high score was Anthony Rizzo at 95 points. John's high score was Reese Hoskins with 77, but he also had Will Smith with 54, Walker Buehler with 52, and Vlad Guerrero Jr. the third with 41. So his team is pretty stacked. He's got a really good team. He's 2-1. Denise thus far is 0-3. Let's move on to the Springfield Nuclear Power, which is Tori Pinto and Jason. They're the co-hosts of the Philly Baseball Together podcast. For those of you who don't know, you can check that out. A new episode actually dropped Monday there for you. Same thing with the North Chicago Baseball Together podcast. Jason won that one 438 to 340. Ran away with it. He had Tommy Edman was his high score at 61, but he also had Mike Trout with 54. Mike Trout is off to an outstanding start. This is the Mike Trout of old. Did I actually bring up to you, Brig, that Mike Trout might be out of his prime? Did I say that to you like out loud?
Yeah, for sure.
I take it back.
He's not.
Every bit of it.
Yeah.
I take it back. Definitely not out of his
he
prime.
lagged out the other day was terrific.
Yeah. No, Mike Trout's having a Mike Trout year, and it's good for him. It's been good for the Angels. Tori's high score was JT Realmuto with 65. Then he had Paul Goldschmidt right behind his 63, but it was not enough. Let's go over to Jewel, who is Big League Chupacabras, and then Zip, our listener participant, is the Springfield Isotopes. Jewel ran away with that one, 505 to 341. So this is the big surprise to me right here. CJ Crone with the Rockies was his high score with 81 points. 81 freaking points.
Wow.
CJ Crone. Yeah.
Holy
that
cow.
dude was tossed on the trash heap like 2 years ago by the Angels. And I thought he was just going to fall by the wayside out of the league. But here he is ripping things to shreds for the Rockies. And he also had Jared Walsh, who had 78 points. So basically rode those two to a win. Zip had Carlos Correa with 52 points and Josh Bell with 61. And then we get to the matchup of the week. The Manitoba Man Clowns against Brigger Mortis. It's Brig and I, for those of you keeping track. Brig actually had a player outscore me. Jake Cronenworth had 64 points.
For sure. That's it, though.
Ty France had 46. Ty France came crashing back down to earth after his huge weekend. I had Matt Olson with 54, Corey Seager with 52, and Kyle Tucker with 51. Pretty evenly distributed score to a 401-281 victory. Thank you very much, Brig. So I am at 3-0. Brig is at 1-2. Jewel, the Big League Chupacabras, is 2-1, and Zip, the Springfield Isotopes, is 0-3. So that is your fantasy baseball update for the week. Like we said, if you have any questions about fantasy baseball, you want some advice, anything like that, it might not be good, but we'll sure give it to you. Go ahead and send us an email in the mailbag. There's a link in the description of every episode in our link tree. You can also go to baseballtogether.com to find the mailbag.